world was covered in water. It's impossible for Noah in the Middle East to have had polar bears truck across the oceans to go into this little ark. If you look at the size of the ark compared to the number of animals on this planet and everything else that was supposed to be 2 by 2, the math doesn't work. Plus, if you were to take the entire surface of the world, cover it in water, where would the water go? Where would it evaporate? Wouldn't there be...
Well, they say it recedes after...
Wouldn't there be global proof of this flood, of which there's not?
Oh, I don't know. They can't... There's too many people who can't figure out if there's global warming now, and we've got technology up the yin-yang, let alone, thousands of years ago. They can't... There's no way they could tell. When you get down to it, historians really don't know that much about what happened thousands of years ago.
Exactly, so, neither do Bible
That's
experts.
True.
So how do we know?
Why it's a question of faith.
All right. So why don't we take the same faith that so many people have in the Bible and apply it to the human race and say, you know what? Maybe if we were to have a global government, things would work a hell of a lot better.
Well, again, if you're a Christian, especially in Daniel and Revelation, they talk about when the world becomes one, there's a leader who they call the Antichrist, and that kicks off the tribulation, which is a big fear among Christians. They don't want one world.
No, so
they believe.
But don't the Christians to have one leader themselves? It's called God. So what's the difference between the rest of the population, of which Christianity is not the major religion in the world, by the way? So so big deal. So get on board with the plan. Let's go forward. Let's live together. Let's solve the problems of the world. And if you're going to hold on to the Bible as a reason why we shouldn't, man, I think it's time that we should look at the fact that maybe today's society has outgrown religion. Is there a need for religion? Or does religion cause more problems than anything else?
Rob, come on. Turn on the news. If you think that religion isn't an issue, then you must not be paying attention to Hamas and Israel duking it out right now. I mean, religion is always going to be a factor. The problem with religion
this is what I'm saying. Get rid of religion, period. Maybe it will be a better world. Maybe the problems in the world today are because of all the different religions. And because my backyard is greener than yours, my God is stronger than yours, my rules are better than yours. Maybe this is the problem. And if we got rid of all this, it would be a better world.
Well, I would disagree with you, because in every religion there's this sense that, if you do good, you're going to get rewarded when you die. Yeah. And if you take away the whole afterlife reward of everything, then why should you contribute to a charity? Then why should you help out your neighbor? Then why should you not steal something that's easy to steal, or sleep around on your husband or wife, or kill someone who's in your way? I mean, there's no set rules for behavior. And some people argue that that's all religion is. It's a way to for people to obey. But I believe that it's much, much more than that.
I'm going to tell you something. The rules of religion don't apply today. It's the rules that society put forth. It's the rules that society enforces. And it's the compassion that society has for society that is going to see this world through. Because no matter what you do, if you count on religion, it'll give you some feelings of self-worth. But when push comes to shove, I'd rather have an army behind me than holding a book that makes promises that just aren't kept.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
You're a paranormal radio host, correct?
No, I'm a journalist. I'm a broadcaster.
Okay, I'm sorry. Have you ever had, and I know you've had a ton of guests.
Sure.
Have you ever had a guest or guests that have died on an operating table and either met some flames or rose up?
I've never had the experience of having a guest on that says they've had a negative out-of-body experience or near-death experience. Never had a negative. A lot of people have come on and they've talked about how they felt good leaving the body, how they didn't want to come back, how they met a deity at the end of the tunnel, and every religion has a different deity at the end of that tunnel. You know, if you're talking to someone who's a Buddhist, they don't see Jesus at the end of the tunnel. If you talk to somebody who's is a Muslim, they don't see Jesus at the end of the tunnel. They see people or entities or spirits, whatever you want to call them, that relate to their own beliefs. And when you have the atheist on, who has had a near-death experience, they see somebody from their past, one of their loved ones, at the end of the tunnel. So my experience is that a near-death experience is a personal event. It does not always have something to do with a religious icon or a religious connotation.
Well, okay, I'll give you that, but I mean, on the other side of the coin, there are people who have burned in flames, and they get out of their operating, or they come out of their operation, or out of their coma, or whatever set them off in the first place to unconsciousness, and they change their life because they're so afraid of, not living a good life. So, I mean, how do you explain that? Is that, again, the subconscious? They feel guilty about something?
I agree. It could be the subconscious, but like I said, I've never had a guest on the show with over 3,800 interviews under my belt who have come back from having a near-death experience where they've gone to hell or they've burned or suffered any negative effects. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue right here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. Hi, this is Rob McConnell, just letting you know that the X-Chronicles newspaper is now available online at www.xzonebookclub.com. All past editions and current editions of the X-Chronicles newspaper are available for 99 cents. That's www.xzonebookclub.com, and that's 99 cents U.S. per edition. And don't forget, the X-Zone store is now open as well for all of your X-Zone Nation merchandise. www.thexzonestore.com.
Do you have a dis-ease that you would like to alleviate through a natural means? Have you been contacted by angels, ghosts, or even extraterrestrials and want to validate these experiences? Or would you simply like to speak with someone who can help you find your life's purpose? I'm Dr. Joseph Mara, and I'm offering my services free of charge for first-time clients contacting me during the month of April. These free consultations include angel card readings, guided meditations, life coaching, and energy healing. If you have always wanted to explore these types of experiences but were skeptical or simply could not afford them, then take advantage of this free special offer. Contact me through my website, aguidinglight, spelled LITE.com, to schedule your consultation today. Until then, I offer you love, light, and laughter.
Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Dina Ray is my guest this hour, X-Zone, www.dinaray.co. That's DINARAE.co. Dina, you've got a brand new book out. It's entitled Big Pharma, Big Agri, and Big Conspiracy. What's it about?
Well, it's about the pharmaceutical and agricultural industries and how they're just getting out of hand. It's not just a United States, Canadian, North American type of monopoly where they're expanding on a global level, and considering that they're very important industries that we rely on. I believe that they're just getting out of control.
A lot of companies get out of control. Why are you targeting these three?
Well, Big Agri would probably Monsanto. There are other companies. There's a couple of them. There's Monsanto, Syngenta, Dow, DuPont. Monsanto is probably the biggest one. And I guess I wouldn't say I'm targeting them, but they're so corrupt right now. I think people need to be aware of what's going on with their food. They've got all kinds of legislation passed from people that they contribute to their campaigns, etc. Most recently, we've got the Monsanto Act of 2013, which Obama signed into law, which basically grants them immunity. So if somebody eats their GMO food and they can prove that person died of cancer or died of something that's related to the GMO food, well, then Monsanto can't be sued. They're immune. So we've got that, and they're expanding on a global level where they're just really taking advantage of third world countries, particularly India. And I don't know if the food is safe or not. Nobody seems to want to go there. We've got all kinds of scientists who find, the rats with organs that are misshapen, and we Roundup in babies and Roundup in pregnant women's urine, and we've got all kinds of these reports, but every time it gets published or it gets on the news, something happens and it's swept under the rug. So it's not a long book, it's a short book. And it's meant for people who don't really know what New World Order conspiracy is in the first place and aren't quite sure what the terms Big Pharma and Big Agri are. So it's just kind of a beginner book into people getting too powerful.
What is your main gripe with these people who are powerful? You seem to have a hidden agenda, and I'm trying to get to it, because I've never understood why people get onto their orange crates in the middle of the street and yell New World Order. Like Monsanto and DuPont, all these major companies. Sure, they've done bad. They've screwed up, but so has every other company in the world. Look at GM. How many recalls have they had this year? And yet, you don't hear anybody saying that GM is part of the New World Order. You don't hear anybody saying that the government is protecting GM. So why is it that only certain companies get targeted?
Well, again, when you're talking about the food industry, that's I think Henry Kissinger said the person who